Hi guys and girls, welcome back to Watch the Time. Thanks for tuning back in. Thanks for coming back to see me. I'm really pleased you've done so, and I'm really pleased about to bring you another Proxima. This is the PX1715. It's been around a little while. I wanted to get this in for some time. I kept speaking to them. They said they're getting the watch ready for me. Here it is. So it's a chronograph. It's a homage of a more well-known watch, but this one just looks different. It's a I say a more well-known watch. I don't know how well-known it is, but it looks really cool. Seagull movement inside. So yeah, it's a mechanical movement. It's sort of the go-to movement, if you like, for these sort of mechanical watches, especially ones that are very affordable. Which this is coming in that sort of realm. Like I said, I'm a big fan of Proxima, to be honest. I know it's one of the brands that are slowly getting more traction on AliExpress. I've got a video I want to bring you guys very soon where I feel like I got the ultimate free watch collection from Proxima with a little upgrade, which you'll see very soon. But yeah, this watch looks the business. Is it as good as it looks on the listing and in the pictures? Let's find out together. So sit back, relax. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll leave an affiliate link in the description. And with that being said, by that time to get the camera turned around and get on. Right, guys, so this is the watch. As you can see, it's Proxima. Very primitive packaging. You don't need anything else though, because we're not really concerned with what's on the in. What the packaging is. We want the watch, don't we? And there we go. Very cool. Not an original design, but I think they've executed it well. It normally comes in these sort of drawstring bags that they provide. Yeah, and also comes with all the wrap and stuff around it. You got the hang tag. You got the tool to help size it. Obviously signed. These two. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag because I'll make a video about what came in these two. So at the moment, I've got the old clasps, but some of you may know, some of you may not. They have now started producing their own on-the-fly adjust clasp. And guys, they're doing bits. That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to make a video very soon about the clasps and about the free watch collection that I feel like Proxima have done that I think is all you need. But anyway, you're not going to go into that too much because that's going to come later. But do keep your eyes peeled. Put that all to the side. And we're going to talk about this watch because I've really enjoyed my time with it. I like the fact it's a little bit different to the chronographs that you normally see, the 1963s and the Daytonas and stuff. This is a little bit different. It's a homage of a vintage, I don't want to say the brand, but a vintage watch, chronograph. Very cool. But we're going to go through some stuff. So this is the PX1715. Inside, it's running a mechanical Seagull ST1902 movement. They say it's been modified. I'm not sure to what extent, but Proxima do bits, so I trust them completely. Yeah, so I'm sure they're doing what they're doing. Let me start the chronograph so you can see that hand going around as well. I'm going to bring some information up about this movement now. I'm going to show you the movement because the Seagull movement is known to be a beauty. Yeah, so this is the movement. I'm going to let you have a look at it. I'll turn it around this way. I'm going to let you have a look at this movement. It is a bit of engineering. It looks phenomenal. In fact, I will do it this way. The flywheel at the top. You've got all that machinery that's done really well. Let me bring the information up next to me so you can see the specs and stuff of the movement. But if you just look at that, if that is not enough to get you hooked on watches, then I got nothing for you. But yeah, there's all the specs next to me. Phenomenal movement. I would like this one to have had hacking. Unfortunately, it doesn't. But it's got a sapphire crystal covering it. Let the cat out of the bag early, so I don't want to keep taking the strap off. But yeah, it's been really cool to spend time with. The Seagull movements that they do, these mechanical ones, I think they're cracking looking movements. The sort of movements that could really get you hooked on watches, to be honest. Not that I need any help. I'm already there. But yeah, there we go. The construction of the watch, aside from the crystal on the front and back and the strap, is all 316L stainless steel. And I must say, I've been really impressed with the finishing. You've got brushing at the top, transition to a thin polished edge, again to brushing, and at the bottom they've got polishing. They've made it hard for themselves, but they've executed it phenomenally well. If you ask me, I think they've done really well with that. Really comes across nicely. So there we are. That's the bezel, which is high polished, the case, the pushers, crown, and the hardware, and that outer part of the exhibition case back. It's all 316L stainless steel. The case thickness of the watch is 12.8 millimeters. The case diameter, obviously I measure in between the crown and the pushers. It was coming at bang on 39 millimeters. And when you include the crown or the pushers, it was coming in around 42.6 millimeters. The lug width on this is 20, and the lug to lug, tip to tip, is 47.6 millimeters. So I think there's good proportions. You'd have seen it at the beginning on the orange strap. That's the one I had on the Cadison, the mechanical Cadison. I put it on. I'm leaving it on this now, and I think it looks phenomenal. I think that's the sort of strap it should have come on. Personally, it really brings out the orange accents on the dial. But there we go. The bezel, as I said, is a high polished fixed bezel. The crown is situated at the 3 o'clock position. It's only a push-pull crown. You've got the pushers at the 2 and 4, and we'll talk about what they do as we go through. The strap it comes on is an elasticated nylon. I'm not so sure that I feel like this works with the watch, if I'm honest, this strap, in terms of it being elasticated, in terms of the colour. I maybe should have gone for the leather, but we'll move on. The hardware, as I said, all stainless steel, all sterile. The clasp is finished nicely, brushed in the centre, polished at the sides. Really substantial, good size, feels good quality, which again is something we sort of associate now, I think, with Proxima. The crystal covering the dial, as I've said, and as it is on the back, is sapphire crystal. It's sort of boxed, domed sapphire crystal. Quite a bit of domage on there. Not bad to see. So yeah, sapphire on the front, sapphire on the bottom. We've got a sapphire sandwich. We love that. We love a bit of that. We've got 50 meters of water resistance. So that gives you 5 atmospheres of water resistance. And the weight will appear in the top right is 77.4 grams, which is probably about right given the elasticated strap is nothing. That most of that is going to be coming from the head of the watch, and that's probably about a good sort of weight. So there we are, guys. So let's have a look at the dial in just a bit more detail. So what you have is you've got a yellow dial, which is cool because it's a sort of vintage aesthetic watch, and I think they've nailed it with that. On the outside, you've got grade poor faulty pulsations. It's a pulsometer sort of dial. So there you go. Everywhere else, you've got sort of red sort of / orange numerals, sort of in and around the center and the edge of the watch and stuff in numbers, just to sort of help you use the chronograph. Inside of that, you've got the minute track, so it helps you sort of set the time accurately. It's not a hacking movement, so it will be a little bit more difficult than you'd hope for, but there we are. Inside of that, you've got numerals 1 to 12. You have got gaps at the 3 and 9 o'clock position, given that's where the subdials are. The hands, so you'll see the chronograph second hand is blued, which is nice. The numerals and the other hands are all blacked, and I quite like that. It's something a little bit different. I've not had that on many watches where they've gone for stark sort of black hands. It looks pretty cool against the backdrop of the yellow. So yeah, not too bad at all. The subdial at the 3 o'clock is the counting minutes for the chronograph. So that'll go up in increments of 1, obviously, as it goes 1 revolution of the chronograph second hand. And the subdial at the 9 o'clock position, that's the second hands for the time. So as that goes through, so you'll see them when I take the crown out, that'll be the one that will continue, given that it's not a hacking movement. And inside there, you've got lots of other stuff going on in terms of timings and stuff. I'm not going to begin to go into it because I will say something wrong and then I get corrected. But yeah, do have a look at what all of it means. They've done really well in terms of nailing what they've homaged. So there we are. There is no loom on this watch, guys. So there's not going to be a loom shot. I've only been doing it in increments of a minute when I do the degradation. Do let me know if you'd like to see on the loom videos a little bit longer, because I can leave it sort of 5-10 minutes, and speed it up. So do let me know. But yeah, this hasn't got that. As I've mentioned before, it's got a Seagull ST1902 movement inside. This isn't a hacking variant, so you'll see as I change it, change the time, it's not going to hack. You'll see the second over there, which is what I mentioned. That's the second hand, or that's the seconds for the time. That's going to still be going through, and then you can push the crown back in. It's unfortunate. I'd like to have seen them use the hacking movements, given I do really, really rate Proxima. But there we are. That's what they've done. And as I said, now if I touch the pusher at the 2 o'clock, you'll see it will stop, and then the hands, so the blue hand and the sub dial at the 3, they'll both go up to the right, up to the sort of upright position, just like that. So that's reset now, and that's everything going on there, guys. But let me just pop it on the wrist quickly, give you an idea of what it looks like on my wrist. Okay, so guys and girls, this is what it looks like on my wrist. As I said before, I'm not a huge lover of the strap with this watch itself. I probably should have opted for the leather one, but the orange one I'm going to fit it to, I think, is a much better option, which you'd have seen on the intro. But I think it's a really pretty watch. I think it looks really, really cool. What do you reckon? Cool. Okay, so guys and girls, that would now take me swiftly on to what I think is pants and pucker about the watch. If you've ever watched before, you'll know I always start with pants. I do like to go on a high with pucker. So what I think is pants. Not a lot, because I do really like this watch. I do like the vintage aesthetic, I must say. I think it's been executed really well. But there's two things I'm going to mention. It's the no hacking for the movement. I think they could have quite easily used the hacking movement. There are an abundance around, so that would have been nice. And the strap, I just don't think it really works on this watch. I wasn't sure from the pictures, so I wanted to try it out. I've got plenty of leather straps anyway, but I wanted to give it a go. And yeah, it doesn't really work for me. The colour doesn't really work. I don't think it works on this watch personally. So yeah, I'll go for those two things. The no hacking and the strap. What I think is Pukka, had to mention it, didn't I? The Sapphire sandwich, my favourite sandwich really, behind a BLT, as I've said before. The crystal clarity. So they have definitely put a reasonable amount of AR coating on this watch, given that, as you can see, even with the sort of box dome crystal, which oftentimes will leave a lot of glare, they've obviously combated that by putting a lot of AR coatings. So the AR coating is doing the job. So the crystal clarity is very good. The dial, very different in terms, but I like that. I like the way it's been executed. I like the way the sub dials are done. I like the black hands and everything going on. And as I said, the handed indices, I've already mentioned, like I said, with the black, the stark black against that yellow, and then you got the blue sort of pops from the chronograph second hand. Nicely done. The size, 39mm, 47.5 lug to lug. So yeah, nice proportions. It's going to wear on the wrist really, really well. And once you take it off the sort of elasticated NATO strap, it's going to be a little bit thinner in terms of, because obviously, even though it's elasticated, it does sort of sit a little bit more further away from your wrist. And the finishing, I mentioned at the start, I do like the transitions they've used on the case. I think it's been done really, really well. I thought I wouldn't expect that from Proxima, but yeah, the finishing's done really well as well. So let me just surmise what I think is Pukka. As I go with the Sapphire sandwich, I go with the crystal clarity, dial, hands indices, size and finishing of the watch. And that'll take me on to, would I recommend the watch? And wholeheartedly, I still would. Obviously, I would like hacking. I'm going to put it on a different strap, so that's not a big deal breaker for me. But the fact I'm going to be keeping this watch, and it's going to be my third Proxima, so do look out for my sort of free Proxima collection that I think that it just sort of nails everything. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. But yeah, I definitely would recommend it, guys. But as I always say, please let me know what you think about this watch, more importantly, and maybe any other watches you may want to see on the channel. And as I always say, don't forget to like, subscribe, and always watch the time. Take care, guys. All the very best.